Well, thank you for joining us again for our Shaw TV's Year in Review. I'm your host, Parry, and today we're interviewing one of the most recognizable faces of Shaw TV. He's been with us for 8 years, Mr. Curtis Anderson. Welcome, Curtis.
Hey, Ann, how's it going today?
I'm doing really well. How are you?
I'm a little stressed. You asked me to pick like 5 or 6 of my favorite clips and stories and segments of 2010, and it's been hard. It's been a long week.
Yeah, it's been a busy year, and you know, you've got lots of different segments on the air. You have Strip Down, which takes up a lot of time and energy,
Yep.
which you're very passionate about. There's also arts and entertainment. You know, you got to keep up with the local arts scene, which is just growing all the time. And then you have your book review, which requires a lot of reading on the side.
It's true. I heavily abuse caffeine, and that's the only way I can make it from day to day here at Shaw. But I love my job, Ann. Like you said, I wear a lot of hats. I get to do a lot of cool things. And it was really tough to pick the favorites this year, because 2010 easily the best year I've been since I started with this company.
Sweet. I can imagine it'd be tough to choose, because at least once a week you come through that door and you're like, AP, you got to see this. You got to see what I shot, or you got to see who I talked to, or you know, you're always really excited about something. It's got to be hard to find only 5 or 6 segments in the whole year that you can show today.
It was, but I think I've got it.
Okay.
I think I've got it.
Well, we're going to start with 2 of your passions, which are reading and wrestling.
Yes.
And you've brought them together somehow in this next book review.
Yes, it may be the first and only time we ever reviewed a wrestling book on the 5-minute book review. And you probably shouldn't believe that, because we've read a lot of wrestling autobiographies. However, my entire life I've watched one pro wrestler by the name of Shawn Michaels. He goes by HBK, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. He's been wrestling as long as basically I've been alive, and I've kind of, you know, just watched him my whole life. I never kept a diary, so it's this weird thing where I can watch his pay-per-view matches and I can just remember where I was at that stage in my life during those pay-per-views. It's this kind of thing. Anyways, it all got risked because he put his career on the line at this last WrestleMania in April, and so the week before, he put his career on the line and actually lost and had his last match ever. Ian Goodwillie and I took a look at his autobiography. This week on the 5-minute book review, we tune up the band and deliver sweet chin music to another WWE outing. This time it's the Heartbreak Kids, Heartbreak and Triumph. That's right, we're talking about Shawn Michaels' autobiography. Why Shawn Michaels? Why now? Well, rumors are he just might wrestle his final match this Sunday at WrestleMania 26, available on pay-per-view. So I figure it's the appropriate time to review the incredible career of the Heartbreak Kid, a guy who was hired, fired, and hired again in the 80s, a multiple world champion who is easily the best wrestler in the world in the mid-90s, yet a giant jerk to the fans and fellow wrestlers alike. In January of 1998, he essentially broke his back, but he went out 7 weeks later and wrestled Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania 14 in a 20-minute match where 3 of his vertebrae were grinding against each other. That's dedication, and that's disgusting. Coin toss to start, and Curtis is the winner. Today on the 5-minute book review, starring Curtis and Ian, we're going to take a look at another WWE product. That's right, Heartbreak and Triumph, the story of Shawn Michaels. Why are we doing yet another wrestling book? Well, it actually makes sense, because this weekend is WrestleMania 26. This man's career is up on the line. He may be retiring on Sunday. That being said, let's talk about the book. Let's look at the history of the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. No secret, I'm one of the biggest fans of Shawn Michaels. I think when it's all said and done, he's probably the greatest sports entertainer that has ever had the opportunity to perform in the ring. This book, kind of in 2 sections. He used to be a bad person, now he's a good person. That's basically, you find that line, that chapter where he's done talking about all the horrible things he did, and then he talks about how he's born again, and you know, I'm cool with that, but again, it's 2 different books, and it's kind of bothersome in the way, you know, you either want to know about the horrible things he did, or you want to know about the good things he's done. I think it's a kind of a hard transition when it finally gets to that point. Ian?
I can understand why he'd want to do the 2 things. I mean, he's wanting to make the point that this is the guy I was, this is the guy I am now. I will say my issue with it was, you know, I felt like I got a little too much of, oh, woe is me, I'm poor Shawn Michaels stories in it. I don't know if but then again, I get that from a lot of wrestling autobiographies. It seems to be a running theme for them. I can't disagree. I mean, Shawn Michaels is good at what he does. Is he the best of all time? I don't know, but he's damn good. I don't know, like, I was reading it, I found him talking about sort of the heyday stuff of his career prior to the back injury really interesting. You know, the days with Diesel and Razor Ramon and those guys, and, you know, bringing up, you know, Triple H coming up, that kind of thing. It was all very interesting, but at the same time, it kind of got to a point in the more recent stuff where I just found him more bland than I did. I don't know if it's just because he decided he was good now and he wanted to be a different person, but he just seemed less interesting, I guess.
Well, that's probably because he is legitimately less interesting now, Ian. Best part of the book was when he was world champion right at the end. I mean, the company was almost bankrupt. The competition had almost, you know, closed the doors of the WWE, and he was on top, and it was just crushing him. He was an angry, pill-addicted man trying to keep it together as the leader of the WWE for almost a year. And, you know, you say he complains, but in this case, and I'm not just saying this because he's such a fan, I think it's valid. Like, he really did a lot for that company, and just all of a sudden it was all about Austin and The Rock, and he was done.
Yeah, but it might have been time for that, though, too. I mean, you know, a lot of people talk about Bret Hart being unable to let go, and that's why Montreal happened to him with Shawn Michaels, and it got to a point where maybe just Shawn Michaels needed to let go and let, you know, he was the man who led them through that period, but it gets to a point where you need somebody else, and at that time it was The Rock and Austin, and with those two, especially with Austin and McMahon's feud, I mean, they really sort of took it up a notch from there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he could sense it was changing, Ian. They were about to usher in the whole Stone Cold Rock era, and Shawn was kind of the last of the old guard. But here's a guy who went in to WrestleMania and lost the belt to Austin when he was so beyond injured. He had no fluid covering 3 of his vertebrae, so he wrestled a 20-minute match with vertebrae grinding on vertebrae just to make Steve Austin look like $1 million. And after he lost, they didn't even tell him there was a press conference going on. He was laying in the dressing room, you know, getting shots of whatever in his back while there was a big press conference, you know, for Steve Austin. And I mean, you read that and you're like, man, that's a horrible thing to do to someone who just basically risked their life of living in a wheelchair for your company. But regardless, closing thoughts, Ian?
Well, it's a good book. Like you said, it's got 2 very distinct lines in it. It's got, you know, I'm bad and now I'm good. But, I mean, at the same time, like I said, I think it's necessary. It's his life. That's how it worked out.
I kind of let him get away with a little more because he's Shawn Michaels, but the whole...
Yes, and you have a small shrine to him, I know.
Those books where they are split in half, where it's like, hey, I used to be bad and now I'm good. It always makes me wonder, if you're so good now, why do you even bother telling about all the horrible things you did with such glowing memories, you know? And this book was no different. This is what I did that was so horrible, but that's the first 3/4 of the book, and it seems like he had a lot of fun. But this Sunday, WrestleMania 26, is he going to retire?
No.
No.
I mean, he'll retire for 6 months or something ridiculous, as much as anybody retires. People only retire from wrestling when they die.
Fair enough. Ian, as far as WWE books goes, this is probably my favorite.
Definitely
read it.
Definitely.
Well, after seeing that, I feel like I know a bit more about Shawn Michaels. You know, every now and then, Curtis, you come into the office and you say, Anne, you know, I know you won't care about this, but I'm going to tell you anyway. And it's usually a wrestling story.
And you don't care, and I tell you anyway.
It's true.
But he's gone, Anne. He's gone. I don't know.
So, don't get too emotional, Curtis.
He's gone.
There are other people to look up to in the world still.
Such as?
Our next guest, perhaps, who you spoke to at Comic-Con. This man terrified me in junior high when I first saw the Candyman movie. I don't even know how I would react if I met him face to face, but you had that opportunity.
I got to interview Tony Todd and Parry. The guy is gigantic. I knew he was big, but he dwarfs me. He's really intimidating. He's got that deep voice. And Sal Accardo, Jay Neufeld, and I went up to Calgary and took in our first ever Comic-Con. And again, that's kind of a job perk, where we're like, we want to go to Comic-Con, but we don't really want to pay. So how about we make some phone calls, bring some cameras, cut the lines, talk to the celebrities, and get paid to do it. That's the world we live in. It was amazing. So we drove down to Calgary, and so many people there. Aaron Gray, some people from Battlestar Galactica, which of course Jay Neufeld was impressed with. The Honky Tonk Man, which Sal Accardo got to interview. Anyways, I was really excited. Sid Haig, but Tony the Candyman Todd gave me an interview, and you know, Helen. And it takes all these bizarre turns. It's not just the fact that I'm interviewing Tony Todd. It's really a great interview because he's crazy, turns out. I got him to wish Jordan Bizdell the Biz, one of the crew members on Strip Down, a happy birthday, because it was actually Jordan's birthday. And just watch the end of the interview. It goes to weird and strange and crazy places. But yeah, Tony Todd, he's been in like 100 movies. Now, pull out right now. Check this out. Horror movie
Look at this.
icon,
Look
Tony the Candyman, Todd. We've met a lot of celebrities today. You may be the most excited interview for me.
Really?
I'm very
You've came back 3 or 4 times.
I have. I wanted to make. Well, your line never slows down. Your line never slows down. Okay, here. You want to hold this for a second? Here's what I did on Earth Day. It's Earth Day, and I was like, hey, I'll just really quickly print off what Tony Todd's done.
Okay.
Keep in mind this
on
is Earth
Echo.
Day. Earth Day.
Yeah, but that's all natural paper, folks. Stop. Are you kidding me? Look at that. Wow.
Like 21 Jump Street. Like, it's MacGyver.
You know how many times I've come up to Canada to film? Particularly, back when everything was really rolling, it was like 1 out of every 4 gigs.
Like the Crow?
No, Crow wasn't here in Canada.
I'm trying to wrap my head around, like, I've got you for like 3 minutes.
I love doing icons, man.
So,
I only choose iconic work. I said if it's not cool, I don't want it.
I don't know where to start. So what do you want to talk about? What message does Tony Todd want to get out here?
I'm glad to be back in Calgary.
Yep.
Last time I was here, I was shooting a Western with Christopher Reeve, rest in peace. We shot it here in Calgary for 7 months. One of the best jobs I ever had. It's called Black Fox. I got to ride a horse, put on my 6-shooter, my rifle, and eat hay for 12 hours a day.
Do you ever take time off? You have like another 6 pages of stuff that's just in production.
Yeah.
Like the work never slows down for Tony Todd.
Well, I got 2 kids, a boy and a girl. My daughter's in college. That's whole nother job in and of itself. And I got hobbies to keep me sane, man. I do video gaming. Look at this. Who's this guy? What is this, man? What is this guy?
Who does it look like?
See this little toy? This is what's so weird about being a grown man. That we actually have action figures, and if I get
I don't have an action figure.
Yeah, you do.
I don't know. I don't.
No, it's
not that I know about.
Is your action figure right now?
Oh, I'm getting burned by Tony. The Candyman is burning me now. This is like the best day ever. I'm guessing majority of the people here want to talk about Candyman. Is that the majority of the folks that come through?
I would say Candyman, Star Trek, a lot of Stargate, 24. Well, I'm starting to list them all again.
See, there you go. All we get.
Transformers.
Happy Earth Day, people. What do you remember most? I mean, what resonates the most about the Candyman movies with the fans?
I remember when I was in high school and I was a little bit of a nerd and I used to get teased a lot and couldn't walk down the hallway. And I said one day to all these bullies, I said one day I'm going to
I am going to be freaky as hell.
I'm going to be freaky. I'm going to be popular, and you're gonna pay respect.
I'm going to have a belly of bees. And do they come back to these Comic Cons and fall at your feet now and be like, you were right.
You were right.
You were right.
I'm so sorry.
I'm humbled.
Kick your butt when you were
I'm guessing
little.
You probably weren't like 6'10" back in high school.
I was a skinny kid.
Okay.
They used to call me Tony Rod. Tease me, fishing rod. Tony Rod.
Last couple years, old 80s horror. Been resurged, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Friday the 13th remade.
Yes.
Nightmare on Elm Street starting next week remade.
Right.
When can we see a Candyman remade? When are they going to
around to it?
Yep.
I mean, eventually. I know one of the problems why I'm not remaking it is that 2 different studios or 3 own the rights to it, and none of them will be gracious enough to allow the other one to do it. So that's been the holdup.
Was that movie too smart? Like,
yes,
is that, no, seriously, is that what keeps Candyman from, like, being in the, like, Jason Voorhees level? Because those are just kind of dumb killing movies. Yeah. And that is creepy. Like, that is a whole different movie.
That's a whole nother
when people are talking about the Freddy versus Jason, you know, Chucky versus...
You know what they proposed to me? They wanted to do Candyman versus Leprechaun, and that would have been greenlit. And I said, no way, dude. Like, this is not a joke.
Yeah.
I mean, all respect to the Leprechaun franchise, but, like, how long would that battle last?
We're not going to see Candyman in space.
How long
soon.
would that battle last? Okay?
Not long.
I mean, come on, are you for real? I mean, Leprechaun, how big is he? Like that.
What would you do if you got your hands on Leprechaun?
Just kick him.
Yeah?
Get out of here.
Is that the sound it makes when you kick a Leprechaun?
Yeah, because he would explode. But enough of that.
I'm a huge fan.
Candyman is a romantic lover kind of thing. Hello?
Huge fan of the movie Candyman, and honestly, that is has one of the most disturbing things I've ever seen on film. And it's when Helen has been framed for the murder, and she's being forced to undress in the police station, and she's crying. I don't know why. It's just one of those, like, there's no gore or anything, but she's just bloody and crying, and they're like, just put your garments in the bag, ma'am. And that goes on for like a full 2 minutes, and it's just uncomfortable.
Turn face the camera, and I did this, and I hooked that right there.
Hang him. Let's see what happens. I don't know. Are you patenting Candyman earrings? You can let it hang. What's going to happen? No?
Right? Think so?
You can do it. This is a great way.
Cut you from your stem to your...
There you go. That's heavier than it is, Zach. All right.
Gross,
I think
man.
this is probably a good way to end it.
Wow, you're right about that, CA. That guy is just as scary as he was in the movie.
I got hotel keys in every pocket. That's one of my all-time favorite clips since I started working here at Shaw. It's so random.
I've definitely heard you say that more than once.
It's actually, that sound clip is on the intro to Strip Down now, just because it's so amazing and epic.
Crazy. Well, I have to say that, you know, here at Shaw, you're one of the biggest drivers of doing, you know, some larger format programs. And, you know, some of them are a bit controversial in some people's eyes. We got to do a really cool food tour this year where we may have risked our health somewhat,
Yes.
you know, for this production. Tell us more about it.
Well, as you know, Anne, sometimes you get caught up with the whole, like, live TV thing, and you do stuff you probably shouldn't do, but the adrenaline kicks in, and you're making great TV. This was the... that was the atmosphere at the exhibition over the summer when the X rolled into town again. We were on location as we were every year, you know, doing dozens and dozens of live to tapes, showing Saskatoon, everything that was going on. And then on the last day, the people of the X started to give back to us. And they said, you know what, why don't we focus on the food? You guys should go on a food tour, get all the staff together, and we'll just take you from place to place. Clown will take you from food vendor to food vendor, and you can try a little bit of everything. However, I took it upon myself to try a lot of everything. It wasn't a little bit, it was a lot. And the feedback we got from that segment was amazing. You know, that was one of those things where I couldn't walk down the street without 3 people coming up and going, oh my God, did you actually eat that much food? Yes. Yes, I did eat that much food. It's a long segment, so sit back and relax. But what do you remember about that, Anne? You were there.
Oh yeah, it's a good watch. As you were saying, you know, people would come up to me afterwards and be like, did you guys actually eat that much?
Yeah.
And in such quick succession, and we did. We just went from booth to booth, and we stuffed our faces, you know, all in the name of good TV.
Yeah, I remember laying on the floor in my house for a good 3 hours after that when I got home. It was all bad. It hurt. It hurt, Anne Parry. But I'm not sorry we did it. It was awesome.
There. Bring on the memories.
Yeah. We are knee-deep in our 2010 coverage of the Saskatoon exhibition. I'm Curtis Anderson, joining me once again. Doo-Doo the Clown is today just as unbelievable as yesterday was.
Unbelievable. We're in for a big surprise today. I noticed you and the whole crew have been running around working so hard to show everybody everything at the X. So I decided I'm going to take you guys around and show you the best yummy food at the X. But here's the problem. I want you to eat everything that I show you guys today. Everything. Is that a deal?
That is a deal. Should we put up a disclaimer like we don't actually endorse eating everything humanly possible at the fair?
No, you're going to eat it all, and then at the very end, we might just put them on a ride. But we'll see about that.
That's nothing good can come of that. Okay, where do we start? There's so much to eat. There's so much to do here, Doo-Doo. Where is step one?
Well, first we're going to start right over here. Excuse me, sir. Come here for a moment. This is Jake. Everybody say hi, Jake.
Hi, Jake. Is this one of those now we've never met before things?
No,
No?
now
Okay.
I found out that Jake works for
Mitch's Monster Dogs.
Now, Mitch's Monster Dogs, I found out, has been here since 1979. I found that out today. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I understand that you gave us the go-ahead, and you're going to feed the crew.
Yeah.
We got it on record. Let's eat.
It's a hungry crew today. Look. Hey!
All right.
All right.
Who we got here, Jake?
We have Tibor here, and he'll be making you guys' corn dogs for you today.
All right, so what's the best way for us to go? Around the side to watch what he's doing?
Yeah, just come right around the side here, and
All right. Woo, this is exciting. All right. So what are you doing first over here? Tell us, because Curtis, go ahead, because if I stand too close, I'm going to eat the whole thing.
Okay, first you got to put the hot dog onto the stick. There you go. That. Dip it in. Give it a slight little twist.
Wait till it puffs up, and there's your corn dog.
Wow. Okay, now you have to show us the finished product.
Yeah.
6 times. Unbelievable.
That was magical.
And how long does it take to cook?
Probably 3 to 4 minutes.
All right. Well, I'm pretty excited. I don't know about you guys.
I'm hungry. It looks good.
Now, what do most people put on the corn dogs? Do like me, I like to put jelly beans on corn dog, pepperonis, Smarties, relish, but I understand people put ketchup and mustard.
Yeah, that's usually most preference is ketchup or mustard.
How many of these do you put through in a day?
Probably about 400.
400. That's a lot. So today it's going to be 406.
Today's 6 because the Shaw crew is going to eat 100 of them right here. Are you guys ready? Wait a minute. Can they do their exercises while we're waiting? Hands up in the air. And come on, jumping jacks. 1, 2. Okay.
We're working out.
Well, I think that we're all set, Ernest. I think that I know their exercise, but they're ready. They've been running around the fair.
You wouldn't want to pull a hammy on, Parry.
Well, he's making us
Okay,
fresh,
the fresh
hot
ones. This is awesome. Okay.
I'm so excited.
These look so good. I don't think I've honestly ever eaten a corn dog at the X.
Well, you can't get any fresher than now. I mean, he's just took them out of the freezer. We're ready to eat them. You know what? This is true. We're going to have one of everything at the X today. I'm telling you, watch. It's going to be unbelievable.
You told me not to eat anything yesterday, and I didn't eat anything from when you told me not to eat until now. So I'm hungry, doo-doo.
All right, well,
I'm hungry.
well,
I imagine that sensation is not going to last long, though.
Well, I understand the last thing that my friend right here ate was a spud.
Oh, that's right. I had a spud nut a few days ago, and it was unbelievable.
Oh!
Heyo!
Unbelievable! My belly's making noise like a goat. All right. Oh, here we go. All right. Are you guys ready? Let's cheer. Woo!
Salicardo. All right, do your corn dogs. Down. Done. 5 corn dogs up, 5 corn dogs down. Thank you. It was good.
Dessert! Dessert! Dessert's next.
Okay, where are you taking us next?
Right here. This is Mini Melts. And over here, Curtis, we have, tell everybody your name.
I'm Chelsea.
Chelsea!
Unbelievable! And guess what? You're gonna love this because she's got like a million flavors, but I'll get out of your way because I know the flavors and you guys can talk to her because it's unbelievable.
All right, Chelsea, what's a mini melt?
Mini Melt is, what is it called? It's awesome. It's awesome. It's ice cream.
Ice cream.
It's frozen to the max, so it doesn't stick together.
Frozen to the extreme.
To the extreme. It's the ice cream dream.
Unbelievable!
Ice cream dream. Do you guys want to see it?
You do. I'll have extreme chocolate. Oh wait, there's coffee. Ah!
A mixture, maybe?
Oh yeah, I'll have chocolate,
mixture.
coffee. Chocolate and coffee. I'm freaking out, man.
It's not going to
Chocolate
be
and
good
coffee.
for anybody.
Chocolate and coffee.
Yeah. Whoa! She knows. It's like a margarita. So wait. It's like a Manhattan. That's it.
That's it.
All right.
Here comes the big taste test, ladies and gentlemen. Mini Melts for the first time. Curtis, it's unbelievable. Hey, you know what? Hold on. Let me just, excuse me, sir. Sir, come over here quick, sir. What flavor do you get when you get Mini Melts?
Chocolate.
The whole crew is gonna try one.
All right. Let's go with mint chocolate.
Wrong magic wafers.
You're right, Curtis. It does have flavor.
Shake. Look at that. It's unbelievable. I'm gonna put this in my pocket and eat it later on my break. Unbelievable. Your turn.
Banana cream, please.
What about you?
I can't eat dairy.
Oh,
Oh, we actually have a flavor that's not dairy. Really? Really. Tropical punch. Yes.
yay!
We're
We're continuing our food tour with our third stop. Doo-doo, I'm full.
No, it's only just
full.
It's only just begun.
Doo-doo, I'm gonna pass the mic over to Simon Hyatt. I'm too full to talk, okay? You be nice to Simon.
Oh, Simon!
Simon, he's still eating.
Simon!
I'm not full.
Good, we're gonna keep
it going.
Now wait, now we're at one of Mitch's famous places. He's got booths all over the Saskatoon X.
Yeah.
And Jake is our buddy. He's been making sure we're all looked after here.
And this is one of those great booths where even if you can't see it, you can smell it.
A mile away.
So good.
Well,
What are we
now
gonna have?
I need everybody's order. Sausage?
Sausage.
Sausage? Burger? Burger? Now anybody with onions?
No.
Onions? Onions. Okay, take a look at this. Come in here. Look
Curtis
at this.
Anderson wants double burger. Double burgers? No, no.
Oh, no.
Single.
We got cooked onions and we got raw onions. So
Oh, man.
All right.
how about a monster dog?
Whatever.
Whoa.
Go monster dog.
What's a monster dog?
A monster dog is 2 foot-long wieners in one bun with chili, cheese, onions, relish, sauerkraut, and hot peppers.
That is unbelievable.
my God.
Nice.
He's going for
Here
it.
we go. Curtis
think-
Anderson.
Simon, I
You
think
gotta do it now.
this is going to be the biggest one
Come
in the
on.
world.
Yeah!
All right, good stuff.
Unbelievable.
Apologize in advance to Curtis's wife and child for damage that we may be doing to him today.
It's all good. I have a long night of laying on the couch.
Good stuff.
Ahead of me. All right, the
All right.
exhibition.
Well, I figured something out. The last time I had one of those, I looked like him, and now look at me. So get ready.
Lots of makeup.
Look at right here. Unbelievable. So wait, we've got chili, cheese, onions, relish.
Sauerkraut and hot peppers.
Unbelievable. This truly is the biggest hot dog that I've ever seen in my life at Mitch's. Unbelievable. Oh, look what's going on back here. We're getting him ready.
Do this, man. You got this. You got this.
Feeling good? Are you feeling ready?
Let's do this.
Oh,
You
here
can't
it is.
let-
Here it
You
is.
can't let the monster dog win.
Unbelievable.
It's man versus meat. I believe in you, CA.
You can do it. You can do it. Oh my goodness. That is truly the biggest hot dog I have ever seen in my life.
Yummy.
Unbelievable.
All right, so people now that you make these regularly, like people want to come by and get one, you can you'll fire one up for them.
Oh, no. If they ask for it, I tell them what's in it. But a lot of people get scared of it, but there's quite a few that actually eat it.
A lot of people aren't Curtis Anderson though.
I don't understand. I eat salads. I eat healthy most of the time. And how can you look at this? That's his second one. Unbelievable. Come on, you can do it. You're almost finished.
I don't know if I can do it. I've already had a corn dog, ice cream, and half of this burger. I don't know if I can do it, Doo-Doo.
You've got to. We said we're going to try every single food at the X because it's unbelievable. Come on, you can do it.
All right, I'm doing my best here. I just don't want to let down the team, you know?
All right, because next we're going for something sweet.
All right, we're now on Station 4. We are in the candy booth here, joined by Matt. Now, I missed out on the Candy Mountain yesterday, but to me, this is what the fair is all about. It's all about the cotton candy and the candy apples and the popcorn, which you have all that in this booth here.
We do. We have cotton candy, snow cones, candy apples, caramel apples, popcorn, snow cones, drinks. We got it all.
All right, so now are people coming out to the X? Are they loving the candy? I mean,
Well,
to me,
they're
this is
loving-
what it's all about. So
Yeah, they got to get the treats, the candy, the snow cones, the cotton candy. It's every year it's a favorite, right?
check it out. We got the vultures over there. They're just waiting. They're waiting to have the candy here. All right, so you're gonna take us through a demonstration here.
Some plots.
All right, we're gonna spin some candy plots.
You got it.
Show me how it's done.
Yeah, all you got to do is just take the stick, turn the machine on, let it start. Put a little bit of sugar inside there, of course, and then we'll start spinning here.
All right, let's do this. Look at that. That is huge. Pretty cool. You make that look super easy as well. Wow.
There you go.
Oh my God. That is
Pure
a mountain
sugar.
here.
Pure sugar and a little bit of flavoring.
That's awesome. Here, have some, camera guy. No dice. He's not in.
Do you want a snow cone too?
Sure.
Sure.
All right.
Back a bit.
So what kind of flavorings do you have for the snow
We have
cones?
cherry, blue raspberry, lime, and grape. We also have the favorite rainbow.
I'm gonna pass this off to the vultures out here. Who wants the giant mountain of candy floss? All right, enjoy, guys.
And we'll do a rainbow snow cone.
Rainbow snow cone. Look at that. Looks pretty good. Wow.
There you go.
Check that out. All right, we're gonna move on to the
caramel apples.
Yeah.
Sure. You got the Granny Smith caramel apples, hand dipped by myself. You got the peanuts as well as the plain.
Well, those are apples, so that, like, they're totally healthy, right?
Oh yeah, this is a healthy treat.
Yeah. Awesome.
And then we also have popcorn and drinks.
Cool.
The popcorn too.
Wow, we're getting it all today.
Getting everything, all the treats.
Let's try some rainbow snow cone.
Unbelievable! This is huge! You know what? There's a little boy out there. He's a very good friend of mine. His name's Bernie. I'm going to give this to Bernie. Yeah, this is huge. Unbelievable. Look at this, guys. Come on. Woo! Bernie, come here fast.
Taking the candy.
Unbelievable.
Who wants one of these?
It's a party. We love you, Matt. Let's give Matt a big unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
We love you, Matt. Woo! Come on, guys. Okay, you guys have not stopped eating. We're doing everything. Curtis, get it in there. Oh my, look at this. Oh, all right, you know what? You went from meat to sweet to meat to sweet. We gotta go for meat. Let's go. More food. I'm gonna make them eat everything on the Midway. I said everything. It's unbelievable. Come on, guys. Woo!
Well, we are so full here on Shaw TV. We have tried a little bit of everything here at the X, but it's been great. There's one last stop. You know, we did have some candy for dessert, but we're going to continue with the meal at Smoky's right now. Norman joins me. Welcome.
Hi.
So, Norman, Doo-Doo here has just been raving about your food. What do you serve?
We sell smoked beef on a bun and Texas taters.
Cool. So we are looking inside the oven. You actually do smoke it right here on location.
Right here on location.
Let's take a look inside.
Okay.
Oh, beef! That looks incredible. How much beef are we looking at here?
250 pounds right here.
Wow. That is wild. And how do you serve it?
We cut it and then we slice it and then we put it on a bun.
Awesome. We're going to take a look inside and see how you do it. Well, we're inside now and we're checking out the tater machine. We've got some hungry kids with their noses up to the windows right outside here. Let's show them how we make these taters.
All right.
Pure amazement from the Shaw TV crew.
That's how we do
Wow,
it.
so you make them fresh here. You cut up potatoes and you fry them right here.
And then we deep fry them.
They look delicious.
And then it goes in here and then goes here. And then we stack them.
Yummy. And I noticed on your sign, no trans fat oils.
That's right.
Very good.
Unbelievable! I'm so excited!
Doo-Doo, you're back. These are your fave, aren't they?
Oh, I just love this place. It is fresh. I love you guys. I can't wait. I'm so excited. Wait till you see the roast beef. It's unbelievable.
Doo-Doo's Rough Rider cape is about to help him take off over here to the other side of the booth. The roast beef. Let's hear about this.
And this is where we slice the beef. And then we set it over here, put the buns in there, and we make them.
Awesome.
And then we stick them in the fridge, and then we serve them. And then they look like this.
Tasty stuff. Well, thank you so much for showing us around. We're gonna take a break and have a little bite to eat. Sure. But it's been really fun to check out your system and how it works.
Okay, thank you.
Well, as you can see, we've taken today's challenge very seriously. We've stepped up to the plate. We tried all the foods here at the X, and Simon is the only one who had to go home sick.
Yeah.
Kurt,
He's sitting in the car right now, and it's funny because you used a golf or a baseball analogy, and Simon wasn't even here.
That is quite funny.
He would have been all about stepping up to the plate. It's been a day.
It has been. It's been awesome. Curtis here has been really committed. Everything from skipping dinner last night to working up an appetite this morning. He was ready to go.
We did the corn dog. We did that frozen thing, the mini melts. Then I did the 2 hot dog chili cheese monster dogs.
Mitch's famous dogs.
Then we had the candy apple, and here we are eating the
Smokies.
Yeah, and the chips. And everyone looks so surprised. I used to be big. I used to be husky. I've still got it in me.
Well, the good news is...
You don't know that, but my nickname used to be Beverly Hills.
I don't believe it.
Because when I got on the scale, it said 90210.
I have a surprise for you guys to finish off the day. You can't see this right now, but I have a surprise. I went to the petting zoo, and I brought goats for everybody to have a ride back to the car. Unbelievable!
Simon?
Man, I got a stomachache just watching that.
Yeah.
Jeez, that was a good time. You know, around the same time as the X, there was a lot of, I guess, fighting and controversy about gadgets and games. What happened with you and Sal this year? You guys went crazy.
Okay, well, it was this idea we had where, I mean, you know, Sal's not from around these parts, right? So he takes his summer holidays, he goes back to Ontario where he's from, rightfully so. But for 2 years, I've been begging Sal to review some classic Nintendo games, because obviously he reviews the new stuff, the Wii's and the PlayStation 3s, but I'm a big believer in the classic NES, so I've always begging him to do these old games. So he said, you know, why don't you take over the segment while I'm gone for 3 weeks and review some of these old Nintendo games? And I thought that was a great idea. So we did this little thing where, you know, we were acting and we were playing WrestleFest, and then he put his segment on the line, and then I won, so then I got to host for 3 weeks. And originally we were just going to shoot this 5-second thing where at the end of the third, when he got back to Saskatoon, he'd wake up and it was all a dream. However, we had no idea how big this would be, and again, it was like the food thing. We went to the exhibition, and we had dozens of people coming up to us and wondering what was going on, if Sal really had left the company, if I really had won, and we thought, okay, we got to keep this going.
Yeah.
So we didn't want to do it every week, obviously, because we didn't want it to take away from the actual segment's job of reviewing video games, but about once every month we kind of revisited the feud, and we had this big thing where I was like, you know, the guy that loved the old games, and he was pushing for the new stuff. But anyways, right at the end of summer, I shot a segment where my son Noah and I, who also loves Nintendo, I've got him playing the original NES, reviewed a game called Little Nemo Dream Master. It never aired because, again, we didn't want to take away from Sal's segment of actually reviewing new games, and there's just, at the time, there was this big run of new games that were coming out that he actually had to do his job correctly and cover. So then it was dated because I think we're wearing shorts because it was summer, so obviously we couldn't air that suddenly in November. Anyways, here it is, a lost episode of Curtis Anderson's Gadgets and Games. My son Noah and I, we review the classic Nintendo game, Little Nemo the Dream Master. Bear, he's adorable. You are watching a brand new edition of Gadgets and Games. I'm your host, Curtis Anderson. That's right. If Curtis Anderson's hosting Gadgets and Games, that can only mean one thing. We are reviewing classic 8-bit Nintendo games. I'm joined by my friend Noah. Now today, Noah, on Gadgets and Games, we're going to be reviewing
Little Nemo the Dream Master!
Now, Little Nemo the Dream Master, arguably the most fun Nintendo game I have ever played. Would you agree? It's a really, really fun game.
The funnest.
It's too bad Sal Ricardo can't be here to share this moment with us. Sal, you see him? Sal?
Sal?
No. I guess he's not here. No, we'll just have to keep going. Now, Noah, you really like this game, don't you?
It's one of the funnest games.
What is it about it that makes it so much fun, Noah?
Well, all the levels are pretty much fun. You got to defeat a frog, a mouse, a bee, a lizard, so many different kinds of animals.
How many levels are there?
8.
What are they?
Well, there's Dream 1, Mushroom Forest, Dream 2, the Magic Flower Garden, Dream 3, the House of Toys, Dream 4, Night Sea, Dream 5, Nemo's House, Dream 6, Cloud Ruins, Dream 7, Topsy Turvy, and Dream 8, Nightmare Land.
let's explain the story here. Even before level 1 starts, you get to see this magical little piece of video here that plays before you start level 1. So Nemo's asleep in his bed. This big balloon-like thing comes, and a clown comes into his room and says, "Little Nemo, Princess Camille needs your help, right?" Now there's trouble in Slumberland. Well, what's Princess Camille upset about?
Well, Princess Camille is sad about
King Morpheus, is it?
It's King Morpheus.
What happened to King Morpheus?
Well, this tricky word I can't say, but
He was kidnapped?
kidnapped
Okay.
by the Nightmare King.
Yeah, oh no, so the Nightmare King took King Morpheus, and now it's up to Little Nemo to get King Morpheus back. Little Nemo has to go through 8 levels, the last level being the Nightmare Land, and he has to defeat the Nightmare King, and then he gets King Morpheus back? Okay, now Nemo doesn't do it alone though, right? Along the way he gets some help from some animals? Explain that to me. How do these animals help Little Nemo?
Well, sometimes Nemo has to climb walls. If you see any lizards, mouses, or gorillas, they can climb any walls you see.
So how do you get the animals to help?
Oh, well, you have to feed them 3 bits of candy, and then bump into them when they go, and then you can ride them.
These levels are really fun, aren't they? There's all 8. Which would you say your 3 favorite levels are, Noah?
Ooh, well, my 3 favorite levels are Nemo's house, Nightmare Land, and Clouderlands.
If I had to pick a favorite, do you want to know what my favorite is? Do you want to know what my favorite is? I would have to say level 3, House of Toys. When you're riding that train, I remember being a little boy and playing that game, and I thought that was the coolest thing. It blew my mind. Okay, and we have to talk about the scepter. Because now you have a scepter on your back the whole time, but you don't get to use it until Dream 8, right? Now what do you use the scepter for?
Well, you use the scepter to fight the Nightmare King, his spinning penguin, and his eagle.
And it's a really long level, isn't it?
Yep. It's pretty tough, too.
Yeah, but so, okay, we do all 8 levels, we beat Nightmare Land, we defeat the Nightmare King, then what happens?
Nightmare's gone forever, and we save King Morpheus, both.
So then what happens after we save King Morpheus? Does Little Nemo get to stay in Slumberland forever? He doesn't? Why not?
Because he has to go home.
Oh, why does he have to go home? Did he make a promise?
Yes, he promised his mom he would wake up early every morning.
This sounds like one really fun game. Is this the funnest game you've ever played for Nintendo?
Oh, well, I have 2 favorites. Super Mario Brothers, The All-Star, and Little Nemo.
What do you think? If someone has the chance to play Little Nemo, should they play it?
Well, it is pretty fun.
Is it a really, really hard game? Do we need the Game Genie to play it?
Not really. But it is pretty tricky.
But luckily, even if you don't have the Game Genie, there's a secret code at the very beginning, isn't there? Do you remember what it is?
Up, select, left, right, A, B.
And then you can shuttle through all the different levels. Right on. But all in all, I say this is one of the most fun Nintendo games ever made. I have a lot of fun playing it. Noah has a lot of fun playing it. If people have the opportunity to play this game, should they?
Well, it is pretty fun.
So if you told people out there to play one Nintendo game ever, would it be this one?
Well, it's pretty fun.
Alright. So all in all, I give Little Nemo the Dream Master 2 thumbs up. How about you?
Started working at Shaw, little baby Noah captured my heart so quickly, and now he's just growing into this little articulate young man. It's so hard to watch.
Yeah, there's actually one outtake where I screw up and he stops me and he's like, "I'm a host, Dad." Because I didn't know how to properly say who he was. I was like, "I'm here with Noah, who's," and then I kind of stumbled and said, "Okay, I'll have to start again." He goes, "Host." Host, Dad.
He's filling in the blanks for you.
Yeah, for sure.
Jeez, that's a really cute segment. You know, here at Shaw, we always get to meet new people in the community, which is always a real joy.
Yep.
And every now and then the odd celebrity comes by, which all of us get excited about.
Yeah.
In this next piece, we all rushed out at the opportunity to meet the very special Dan Akroyd.
Yeah, it was funny because he was through promoting his Crystal Skull vodka, and it was one of those things where usually when a famous person comes, it's really tight security and like, okay, what's your name? What's your shooter's name? And there's only going to be 2 people here, and you have this slot of time. But it seemed a little more lax with Dan Akroyd, which is funny because he's probably the biggest name I've ever interviewed. So I don't know if it was poor judgment. It's probably frowned upon in the industry, but it was one of those things where I looked around and everybody here is the biggest Dan Akroyd fan, right? Like Jay Neufeld's favorite movie is Ghostbusters. So all of a sudden I looked around with these room full of these hopeful faces, and it was like, all right, kids, everyone in the car. And I think 6 of us went on that shoot. It was awesome, and they were good sports about it. It's like, they realized how big it is when Dan Akroyd comes to Saskatoon. So again, it was probably really unprofessional, but we all, the entire group, loaded into the car and sat in the room while I interviewed Dan Akroyd, and I was actually pretty nervous. Remember, he was doing that shtick when we were walking down the hall.
It was nerve-wracking.
I didn't know if he was being serious or not, but he walked into the Sheraton Cavalier, and he's like, everybody come this way, and all his handlers were chasing him, and he's like, I agreed to only do 2 interviews in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Yeah. This is my 3rd. I'm only doing this out of the goodness of my heart. I could walk away at any moment, and I was like, I don't know if he's being serious or not. I don't think he is, and it turns out he wasn't. He was just trying to get us all riled up because he's Dan Akroyd. But yeah, afterwards, camera stopped rolling. Again, he's the nicest guy. He signed everything. He signed a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man for Mr. Jay Neufeld. It was a great moment.
It was awesome. As you were saying, he had this last-minute business conference that he had to tend to, and we only had 5 minutes, and just greeting the 6 of us took up 3 minutes of that time. We were really nervous that we wouldn't get this interview, but it turned out beautifully.
Yeah, and again, he was just messing with us. He was the nicest guy in the world. I think he just does that to see how people react, and react we did.
We did.
You're watching a brand new edition of Shaw Arts and Entertainment. I'm your host, Curtis Anderson, coming from the Sheraton Cavalier today, and man, what an honor. I don't even know how to properly introduce you. How can I do you justice? Canadian icon, Dan Akroyd?
Fortunate working actor is what I usually refer to myself as. This is empty. What happened?
I drank it, is what happened.
Ah, you're a convert already. Okay.
Before we talk about this, I want to do a brief history of Dan Akroyd in Saskatoon. You ever passed through here on your travels in your illustrious career? Any good memories of Saskatoon?
Well, I've driven across, of course, many times. I drove through to Whitehorse, and I came through Saskatoon, and I didn't stay in as nice a hotel as I'm in right now.
All right,
it was a motel. I think it was Weekend Motel outside of town, or Motel Hell, or Sex Motel. I'm not Sask Motel. I'm not sure. Sex Sask Motel. I'm not sure what it was, but it was not as nice as this.
All right, I'm not going to ask you the history of this. I encourage all our viewers to go on to crystalheadvodka.com. You do an amazing video piece explaining the origins of it, why you did it, how you did it. So let's jump ahead and talk about the tour. How rewarding is this for you to see a culmination, this project of like all your passions come together and give it to the fans?
It's extremely rewarding, and I'm here to say thank you. I'm here to say thank you because Saskatchewan turns out to be one of the largest markets for Crystal Head. Really? Ever. And I think that's because people work hard here. They have some income, discretionary income, because the province is going through an economic boom now. They're working hard, they're working overtime. They want to spend their money on the best, and they want to treat themselves. And this is what's going on here, and it's a phenomenon I had to be aware of personally, and I wanted to see it. And I came here to thank the consumer and also the Saskatchewan Liquor and Gaming Authority for getting this right away. When we brought this into other places, some people didn't quite get it, but when we brought it into Saskatchewan, people looked at it, they saw it for the humor that we were trying to infuse in here, the legend of the heads, the fact that it's a fine 91-point rated, pure spirit in the bottle, unadulterated, no additives. And I think the people are responding in Saskatchewan, and I had to see it firsthand. I really did.
You're jumping ahead a few questions. Okay, when you're putting this together, obviously people were probably wondering, why not just give you a picture of a Dan Akroyd thumbs up and slap it on a $10 bottle of vodka? I'm sure you got that. So, why Why go this route?
Well,
what were some of the biggest challenges?
Well, first of all, we're in the quality business. We're in the super premium business. I'm not out here just to make a quick buck. I'm here to put, over the years, I put nice sounds in people's ears with the music and good images and humor in their minds and eyeballs, I think. And now I'm actually putting something on their tongue, which is very materially satisfying for them and for me. And I'm not going to come out here and sell used battery acid. This came from the idea to go back to the old-time vodka making, where there's no fusel oils added, no citrus, no glycol, no raw sugar. This is like the Russians used to make vodka, just the water and the mash and nothing else. And so I was very pleased when our tasting notes came through. It was sweet, vanilla-flavored, dry, crisp, with a kick of heat off the finish, because we don't mask the alcohol with Crystal Head. It will be there in your drinks if you pour proportionately. With this Crystal Driver, tangerine juice, and 1.5 ounces of this, you get a little of the old alco punch, and that's what we were going for.
You mentioned some cities and provinces didn't get this. I purposely didn't research this because I wanted an honest, a question from you and an honest answer from you. Is there controversy surrounding this? Have places banned it? I mean, where's the controversy coming from, or is it just people not getting it?
Well, I think it's some people look at this and they see we call it a head. It's a living thing. It's, the Navajo, Aztec, and Mayans use it as a scrying device, a crystal ball, and we see it as a living thing, something that's a symbol of our common humanity. There are others that see it as merely a death symbol, which of course it could be. The Mexican Day of the Dead recognizes skulls and skeletons, but they do it in a way where they celebrate those who've gone before. The Mexican Day of the Dead is a very celebratory time of year. They eat, they drink, they bring boom boxes into the graveyards, and they have parties, and that's what we're celebrating here. Enlightened drinking, positive thinking, and the state of Idaho originally had some reservations with it. The province of Ontario will not put it on the retail shelf, and therefore we have all along the border in New York State, in Rochester and Buffalo, banned in Ontario, outlawed in Ontario, so consumers are buying it in New York State and bringing it home. I kind of think it gives it a little bit of a controversial cachet, and I actually don't mind it.
I like it. How open?
It's my market is, cut by 1/4 in this country, but that's all right.
How respectful are the Dan Akroyd fans to this new project? I mean, you're here signing the skull in the boxes. Do you get a lot of people that come up and go, "Oh, this is really nice, Mr. Akroyd. Can you sign my Slimer?"
Oh, of course. I'll sign Stay Puft, Slimer, anything they give me. That's part of the fun of these signings, is that I get to see a whole retrospective of my career and see what had impact. And no, people are really receptive. They know that it's a premium product. It's for people between 25 and 65 with a discretionary income, who are vodka drinkers, who enjoy a different type of vodka from time to time, and that's what this is. No, I've been around long enough that I got the respect now. Maybe when I was 30, not so much, but now, with age, the Tyrannosaur is respected.
All right, you're a busy man. I have one question left. Thank you again for spending time with us here, talking about Crystal Head Vodka. The last question: when you're talking to the fans and you're out there, you're at the table, you must get some just amazing stories of what people have done with the empty. Can you give me like a really cool one, and maybe one that really made you kind of go, all right, next in line?
A young gentleman brought an African cichlid, a humphead fish, with little pebbles, and he had it as an aquarium, and the fish was swimming around in there.
So that's the cool one.
And then
what's one that freaked you out a little bit and said, okay, maybe the signing's done?
The stitched leather one, where they had the leather stitched all in black here. All that was missing was the S&M whip.
Fair enough. What's next for Dan Akroyd as we wrap this up?
Headed to Vancouver, Seattle, Sacramento, and in Beverly Hills, California, just getting the word out about this, and the Patron XO Cafe, which is our other brand that's on fire, the cafe-infused tequila. It's the tequila in the black bottle. It's on fire in nightclubs because nightclub owners love it. Their busboys stay after work.
CrystalHeadVodka.com.
Thank you.
Yeah, I still can't believe we actually met Dan Akroyd. When I put the photo up on my Facebook page and people were like, what? You met Dan Akroyd? That's crazy. A lot of us remember the Ghostbusters movies, remember lots of other work he's done, but he's definitely a big, big star, and his Skullhead Vodka has quite the following. It's not available in Ontario. They will not sell it in the liquor stores there because of the skull-shaped glass. So it's really become quite popular in Saskatchewan. I guess that's why they chose to come here. Yeah. The brand is actually doing really well in our province, has a huge following, and he wanted to give back to his customers.
That was amazing. That was the whole point of the tour, was he came through the prairies and thanked us for being such alcoholics and buying Crystal Skull vodka and drinking it plentifully.
Yeah. Speaking of alcohol, I'm not sure how much of it was used in the next production. Probably none. But definitely a lot of blood, sweat, and tears was put into the 100th episode of Stripped Down. Now, there's quite a story about how you were able to connect with your guest, NLX, for this show. Tell us a bit of the background information.
Yeah, this is what we're ending the look back at 2010 for me with, because it was easily the biggest event of 2010. In April 2007, right before your time here at Shaw TV, the Junos came to Saskatoon. I'm sure everybody remembers the Junos and Juno Fest. It took over our city, and that is arguably the best coverage I've ever seen on Shaw TV. We all stayed awake for about 4 days in a row, and at the end of it, we had about a 6-hour loop of just interviews regarding Junos, the Juno Fest, all the celebrities who were in Saskatoon, and it was much praised and much rewarded, our coverage here at Shaw. Anyways, one of the people I interviewed at that time was a young lady who played piano. She was a musician called NLX, real name Natasha Alexander. She was on tour with David Usher. They played Louise during Juno Fest. And her just music and message just stuck with me because she was really unique. She was like this happy, you know, kind of Ann Parry personality, but then she sat down at the piano and things got dark. Holy cow, she sang some angry, angry music, and I really remembered her. And then a few months later, I started doing Stripped Down, and always in my head, I was always like, oh, she would be such a good guest, because the whole point of Stripped Down is getting these artists to explain why they are the way they are. And I was like, I want to know why she is the way she is. She lives in New York, so obviously there was that issue, and we came close a few times where she came through on tour, but we never quite worked it out. So finally I sat down, made the phone call. I said, we're gearing up to episode 100. If you come down and be our guest for the 100th episode, we will make it look amazing. And I have never done a bigger production in my life. I got to thank the good people like Jane Neufeld who came in, and you know, we're looking at 2 days worth of set decoration, 50 hours of editing after the fact. We did things extremely different. It was a really closed set. There is no room for mistakes when someone's flying up from New York. It had a really different feel. All the volunteers brought their A game. Ben Dobney did the audio. You know, Salicardo helped me edit. I can't list them all, but it was the biggest production I've ever done, probably the biggest production I may ever do. And big thank you to Natasha Alexander for flying out and sharing that huge moment with us. It was one of the biggest moments, I'd have to say, in Shaw history. An artist from New York who's toured with Matthew Good and David Usher, flying down just to be our 100th episode of our little music cable TV show. It was huge, Ann Parry.
Awesome. Let's take a look.
Here it is. This is Afraid by NLX.
I'm down off of
NLX is certainly very talented, and you know, as you were saying, her music gets kind of dark. Anyone who's gone through a difficult relationship or a breakup can probably relate somewhat to her music, but when you talk to her in person, she's a really nice girl. My favorite part of this whole story is that originally she was going to be on tour across Canada. Some dates got changed. She spent her own money to fly out here from New York to do this show. Because of that friendship that you had built over the years and, you know, the hopes to do a show together, she really committed to it wholeheartedly.
Yeah, you can't ask for more dedication than that. Again, flying up from New York on her own money to be part of Strip Down's 100th episode. Again, it was, oh, we got her! And then Jay and I kind of looked at each other and said, oh, okay, now we have to make this look like, you know, $1,000 production, and I think we did. Actually, no, I know we did. It looked so amazing. It took, like you said, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. Didn't sleep for 2 months. Cost me my health in some places, but it was worth it. I look back now, and you know, if that's the Curtis Anderson legacy here at Shaw TV is episode 100, I'm happy with that because it looked incredibly high end.
Yeah, it looked fantastic.
So I remember most about 2010.
That's awesome. So looking ahead to 2011, I know you like to plan in advance, Curtis Anderson. You always have something going on the go. Let's talk a bit about what your plans are for next year.
Kind of keep it a little lower key for the next 2 or 3 months and just kind of, you know, hopefully get my health back and start sleeping again because it has been the busiest fall I've ever had in my life, and Parry, with all the projects I've been juggling here at Shaw.
Yeah.
Again, I don't regret any of it. It's good. It needed to be done, and I'm glad we did it, but I need to take a step back and take a breather and, you know, see my wife again, that kind of thing. And, but again, the one thing I didn't have time to talk about was the Shaw Toy Tree. It was another huge success this year. I really wish we could have incorporated that, but I've talked too much and we're out of time. I just want to thank the good citizens of Saskatoon for supporting it a 4th year. Somehow we doubled the toys again. I know we got tremendous feedback from the 2 or 3 or 4 schools. We had so many toys this year. We really made a difference out there, and I think every kid had a happier Christmas because of the efforts of us.
That was an awesome event. You know, every year that initiative has grown, and we've talked about it before, how there are so many drives at Christmas time. You just never know if it's going to succeed, but we've seen great results from the Shaw Toy Tree.
Yeah, again, that was a huge highlight. You just never know when things are going to take off, and it's taken off, and I couldn't be more proud of it. So,
sweet.
Thank you, Saskatoon.
Thank you, Saskatoon. Well, it's been great to have you here and take a look back at a really busy year on Shaw TV. Thanks for joining us.
And Parry, you're the best.
You're the best, CA.
No, you're the best.
Our viewers are the best.
Aww.
Thanks so much for staying with us today. We'll see you again.
The road is long with many a winding
Well, thank you for joining us once again for Shaw TV's Year in Review. 2010 has been a great and exciting year for us here at Shaw TV, and we're going to share some of those moments with you today, so stay with us. Today I'm joined by Sal Accardo. Welcome, Sal.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's a pleasure to be here.
I'm happy to have you. Now, we do refer to you as Salatron or Salatron at work sometimes, so I hope you don't mind if I continue to use that nickname on air.
Go right ahead. I'm totally used to it by now. Nobody knows that, though, but we just threw it out there. Oh, well.
They don't.
No taking it back now.
That's right. If they're watching holiday television, they're going to know everything. So stay with us.
All right. Yes.
So how was 2010 for you?
2010 was a great year. It was awesome. I had a lot of fun, especially at work, working at Shaw. A bunch of shenanigans, a lot of things going down.
Definitely.
It was excellent. No complaints about 2010.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, some of our viewers may not know, but you